The RPG genre is tough to boil down. By the most literal definition, every game is a role-playing game. This list represents my best definition of the canonical RPG. Games that likely emphasize story, that let you inhabit a customizable character through skill points, inventory, and dialogue decisions. That include complex, controllable relationships with companions or non-playable characters. This is my top 10 RPGs. You can spend hundreds of hours exploring The Witcher 3's expansive continent and surrounding isles and still not have seen even a fraction of what this world has to offer. The saga of the world comes to a supremely satisfying conclusion in what's absolutely the best game in CD Projekt Red's acclaimed RPG series. What begins as a quest to find your lost love becomes an engrossing tale full of unforgettable characters, terrifying enemies, and genuine heart. Even the smallest side quests are thoughtful affairs, and many of the main story arcs feature some of the most poignant narrative beats we've encountered in any game. Couple its stellar storytelling with deep character customization and a challenging and rewarding combat system, and it's easy to see why IGN gave The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt a Game of the Year award for 2015. A dark and forbidding atmosphere, richly drawn and voiced character cast, and strategic combat refined an already engaging system over its predecessor and made Baldur's Gate 2 the definitive isometric CRPG for millions of players around the world. The game's success also set the stage for BioWare's ascendance and evolution as one of the defining developers of RPGs in the subsequent decades. Few games have so thoughtfully captured the D&D aesthetic and rules, but even standing on its own merits, Baldur's Gate 2 was a triumph of player choice, offering constant moments of discovery and magic fueled by the player's interaction within the world. What many consider not just the pinnacle of the Diablo series, but the pinnacle of the isometric action RPG genre we've come to know and love. Diablo 2 is truly something more than its parts. From its dark, moody music and visual trappings to its lengthy and lofty story, Blizzard's return to its series that pits angels against demons with man trapped in the middle is a masterclass in atmospheric adventuring. Made both accessible and engaging by its unique classes and skills, the endless satisfaction of its skill and loot gameplay, and its near-limitless equipment variety and character customization, Diablo 2's cooperative play and item trading helped to successfully foster not only the communal spirit in each procedurally generated level of each dank dungeon, but one of the greatest role-playing experiences of all time. The force was strong with BioWare's Knights of the Old Republic, an RPG that let players determine if they would be a Jedi or Sith Lord through choice-driven scenarios. Set roughly 4,000 years before the birth of the Galactic Empire, Star Wars fans often jokingly call this game the good prequel, as the game's jaw-dropping twist was more memorable than George Lucas' take on young Anakin Skywalker. BioWare delivered memorable characters and pushed the boundary of voice acting in RPGs, creating the blueprint used for many of its later RPGs. The creators of Planescape Torment aimed to subvert RPG cliches from the start, and the result is what several critics have called one of the best written and most imaginative video game ever created. Despite being rooted in a D&D campaign setting and adhering to advanced D&D 2nd edition rules, so much of Planescape Torment is driven by sharp and engaging dialogue instead of combat. It takes the static alignment system of D&D, a framework that has inspired RPGs from the beginning, and flips it on its own head, daring to ask bigger questions about the nature of right and wrong and making every single decision one to remember. Planescape Torment's experimental approach to RPG norms, twisted sense of humor, strikingly dark but fresh setting, and tendency to elevate even the most minor conversations with weighty philosophical questions combined to create a unique personality unsurpassed in the last 2 decades. After BioWare ambitiously set the table with the original Mass Effect, the second entry fulfilled the studio's promises. In addition to massively improving the gameplay, the narrative focus on building a team and earning allies' loyalty gave players new avenues to get invested in Commander Shepard's legend. It also introduced the Elusive Man, a humanity-first puppet master who serves as one of the most interesting and complicated villains in gaming. From the action-packed opening sequence to the suicide mission that showed you the consequences of your actions, Mass Effect 2 was a compelling thrill ride that represents the pinnacle of one of the greatest modern RPG series. Pokemon Yellow culminates the fantastic RPG system from Pokemon Red and Blue and mashes them into context with story beats from the great Pokemon anime. Perhaps one of Pokemon Yellow's best improvements is also its most notable, Pikachu. Having the creature follow you on journey help further transform the monster from simply being a team of fighters to a team of your best friends. Pokemon Yellow also serves updated sprites, Charizard can learn fly, and a slew of other narrative changes further cement it as the best way to experience the most influential Pokemon game. Any RPG fan would have a hard time finding something bad to say about Chrono Trigger. The product of a development dream team at Square, it was full of charming characters, colorful visuals, and fantastic music. The time-bending story had players exploring settings that ranged from prehistoric to post-apocalyptic, all while taking advantage of a clever battle system that encouraged cooperation among characters. From heroes dying to villains joining your cause, the tale was full of twists and turns. Even when you finish, Chrono Trigger's defining use of New Game Plus and multiple endings ensured that you always had a reason to relive the adventure. Compared to its cheerfully optimistic brethren, Final Fantasy VI is a breath of fresh air. It dares to answer the question, what if the bad guy wins, by actually letting the bad guy win halfway through the story. It isn't shy about tackling uncomfortable subjects like war, genocide, forbidden love, and suicide. It eschews the myopic viewpoint of a single designated protagonist in order to tell a larger, more emotionally charged tale. This willingness to explore heavy themes and unthinkable outcomes made all the more poignant when set against dramatic set pieces and a soaring score. Is one of the biggest reasons why Squaresoft's 1994 magnum opus is so very special. Its unconventional gameplay is another reason. Final Fantasy VI casts a rigid class system of previous Final Fantasies and allows any one of the 14 heroes to use magic so long as they equip magical shards. Its mini-tower defense games break up the monotony of random battles. While each character's unique combat abilities means everyone serves a purpose, nothing feels redundant or wasted in Final Fantasy VI. It's truly like no other RPG. Before we go to my number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions: World of Warcraft, Secret of Mana, Vagrant Story, Dark Souls, and Persona 4 Golden. The essence of role-playing is inhabiting a character and seeing where your adventures take you. No game accomplished that quite like Skyrim, which expanded on the series' foundation and let players loose in a sprawling world full of stories. Bethesda's mastery of player-driven progression reached new heights with this entry, combining flexible combat and engaging quests to impart a unique sense of ownership. Skyrim was revolutionary when it first released, despite some technical issues, and has grown more varied and customizable thanks to Bethesda's support for mod community on both PC and console. Skyrim may not carry the same nostalgic weight as old-school games, but it opened RPGs up to a wider audience that wouldn't know a saving throw from a pit. And it set a standard for open world RPGs that modern releases still strive to reach. And that's it. If you guys like the video, leave a like, let me know what you think of the video, and as always, I hope you enjoy.